The mental health crisis affects more people than you know. Today, worldwide, 615 million people are living with a mental health condition. And behind each number is a person with their own unique story and circumstance. Since the onset of the pandemic, the severity of psychological distress and mental health conditions have notably increased. The aftermath of the pandemic? Well, we're very much so still living in the throes of the pandemic. However, it's very evident that the demand for mental health services have notably increased. A solution to this has been the use of telehealth or online therapy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is LeJeune Johnson. I am a clinical therapist, and I'm also the founder and CEO of Therapy Plus. So now that I've had the opportunity to introduce myself, I'd like to share a little information with you about Therapy Plus, who we are, what we do. Therapy Plus is a wellness and therapy-based practice that is dedicated to enhancing and increasing mental health access to individuals, communities, and organizations in need. So, for a moment, let's take a look at the bigger picture. What does a person with mental illness look like? What does mental illness look like? Well, that's a trick question because mental illness has no face. Mental illness transcends sex, it transcends race, age, socioeconomic class. Mental illness exists in our families, it exists in our communities, it exists in our workspaces. Today, there are 52 million people in the United States that are living with a mental health condition. And the pandemic has shown a light at how the importance of mental health, the importance of self-care, self-preservation. And it's also shown a light on how telehealth can be utilized to increase mental health access to others. Imagine this with me for a moment. Picture being able to talk to your therapist on your lunch break. Or imagine being able to talk to your therapist in the comfort of your own home on your living room sofa. Well, that's been the reality for millions of folks seeking mental health services through the pandemic. People are utilizing their smartphones and their laptops at their convenience to access a therapist. And this has increased the reach of therapeutic services to millions of users. I wanted to share with you for a moment a glimpse of the mental health market. In 2020, the mental health market globally was valued at $383 billion. This is projected to increase to over $500 billion at the close of this decade. In the United States, we were at $77 billion in 2020. By 2028, we will be at $99 billion. The literature and research on this is very clear. The growth for the demands of mental health services is significant, and it's projected to excel significantly. So I'm happy to share with you that Therapy Plus actually currently has several streams of revenue coming in. We have established partnerships with the Mississippi State Department of Health, with Child Protective Services, and our next big venture is entering the EAP market, or the Employment Assistance Program market. And these are programs designed to offer employees in the workspace access to mental health services. So let's expand our conversation a little bit about employment assistance programs and why they're projected to be the next big thing. EAP programs have actually been around for decades. This is an employee benefit offered by the employer to the employee. And over 90% of employers have this benefit that they offer to their employees. And the function of EAP programs are to offer mental health and wellness benefits to their staff. And the issues that they explore may be work-related, or they may be personal issues that they're having at home. What I personally love about EAP programs is that the program and the services may be extended to your family, so your spouse can benefit, your children can benefit from this service. So I thought I heard someone in the back ask, well, why would an employer be interested in an EAP program or the mental health service needs of their employees? And the answer is quite simple. Evidence-based research shows us that employers gain a significant return on investing in the mental health needs of their staff. And this includes things like increase in productivity, reduction in absenteeism, and reduction in grievances and accidents, a substantial risk reduction in workplace violence, and greater employee retention, all of which translates into significant increased profit margins for employers. Now again, I mentioned that our next big venture is entering the EAP market, and our plan is to tap into the EAP market by engaging in aggressive marketing and campaigning, obtaining contractual support, and once we establish our first EAP contract, we wish to duplicate this process with several employers across the state and eventually start branching out to surrounding states in our region. Our plan is to scale by using the emerging technology that is centered around providing therapeutic services at this time. And that means embracing the telehealth dynamic, embracing virtual care, embracing online therapy. So again, as I mentioned, Therapy Plus, we currently do have several streams of revenue coming in. I'm excited to share that we had a very lucrative 2022, and 2023 is projected to be even bigger. We have increased our scope and reach by establishing partnerships with mostly public sector organizations, as I've mentioned before. Our goal is to expand and grow by acquiring our first EAP contract by the close of this year. So I also wanted to briefly talk to you about what is trending in mental health. We've been talking a lot about the employment assistance program and why that's the next big venture. The fact of the matter is with the labor market continuing to stabilize, people are now re-entering the workforce and physically no longer working from home remote, they're going back into the office. And not everybody's happy about that. And so with that change means it's going to be some adjustment issues that employees will be experiencing. The literature is already showing us that employees are reporting to their employers high levels of burnout, stress, anxiety, depression. The literature already states that. We, Therapy Plus, conducted our own internal research, which yielded that over 80% of respondents said that they felt as though having access to a therapist would improve the quality of their life. So, who are the heavy hitters in the EAP market? At this time, we have ComPsych, Magellan. We've all heard of BetterHelp, who is not known for employee wellness programs, but they just entered the market earlier this year, so that further validates what we're saying. This is the next big thing in venture. These are multi-million-dollar companies, and there I am, far off to the left, very small compared to these multi-million-dollar companies, but I'll tell you what, we have tons of growth, tons of potential for growth. Our greatest weakness, being small, is also our greatest strength. We have an abundance of room for growth. We are hungry to enter the EAP market and establish ourselves. We're going to thrive by building customizable solutions for these businesses, and we can utilize these assets to uniquely position us to thrive for success. So we talked about customizable solutions, and this illustration highlights our B2B marketing strategy, which entails us catering to the needs of these companies and creating these customizable solutions that's going to better position these businesses to be better places of employment for their employees. The main takeaway here is that we want to be highly engaged and as proactive as possible when we're out in our outreach and campaigning efforts. This is a mini snapshot of our team. We are already scaled to add on 2 more team members by the end of the year. I'm very excited to share that. In summation, I just want to recap the recurring theme of today's presentation: telehealth, online therapy, virtual care. This is the new wave of embracing mental health in the digital era, digital marketplace. Everyone in this room has the unique opportunity today to be a part of this unique change, to be a part of how mental health is changing and how mental health is being provided and assessed by others. And it is my hope that you all will want to join me on that venture. I do want to say a special thank you to Higher Purpose Co. for this amazing opportunity. CoBuilders, Innovate Mississippi. My mentor, Chris Spence, who's right here at the front here. I am very excited to take any comments that you may have or to answer any questions. Thank you.
So you're not raising money currently, but what do you need? What can the audience help you with?
We would love any sponsorships, partnerships. Again, we're not asking for money today, but we are very interested in talking to anyone offline about what is needed, what we need to move forward for sure. We're projected to really start our networking, outreach, and campaign in October, the beginning of the fiscal year. So we're really excited about what's transpiring and how things are going for Therapy Plus. We hope that we can have some side conversations with some of you later on. Thank you.